Hello, my friends. This is Deepak, and I'm just adjusting the camera. I know I've been away for a few days, so I'm back now in action to share some ideas with you. And I hope you can hear me clearly. And just to update you, I was in Abu Dhabi and Bahrain for a big conference. And had a wonderful time, and it was so busy that I couldn't get to this daily conversation, dialogue, interaction with you. But I'm back, and so I want to resume our dialogue. And guess what? I am obsessed with waking up to the true self and helping you wake up also to the true self. Ramanand Dikshit, namaste. Svetlana, hello. Heather Dre, hello. Peggy, good morning. Salvan, Jaya Lakshmi, namaste. Shweta, hello Deepak, hello Shweta. Dean Kelly, how are you? Chandrima Rai, good morning. Shalene Vargas, hello. Rubina, good to have you. So we are 500 people here. I'm waiting for everyone to join. But today I want to talk about a 12-step program to waking up to your true self, to the true self, why that is important, and how you can actually create a program, a 12-step process to wake up to reality, to the true self. The self of the individual, which is also the self of the universe. This takes us to an experience that takes us beyond our identity as a body, mind, ego, intellect in the theater of space-time and causality to that in which the body, mind, intellect, ego, personality, and the experience of the world are symbolic representations of our true self. So if you like this idea and you want me to explore it, then please say yes, press the like button, give me your feedback, and let everyone know that we are discussing this topic. Invite them to join, to give feedback, criticism, whatever. The more we engage in this dialogue, the clarity will become obvious. What is false will fall away, and what is true will shine. So if you like, if you like this idea, Demetrius says shared on Facebook. Thank you. So please share everywhere that you can. Invite people to join this conversation and make comments and give feedback. Okay, so before I even start, and I'm ready to start since we're up to 800 people, I want to share with you the cover story of the New Scientist Weekly, February 1 through 7th. Look at the cover story, okay, of this magazine, the British magazine, The New Scientist, and says, what is reality? The more we look at it, the less real it seems. It's about time that science caught on with what we've been saying all along, that what we call everyday reality is not the real reality. As Rumi said, the real reality is behind the curtain. In truth, we are not here. This is our shadow. So what is behind the curtain? your true self. And when that true self is known, it is the ticket to all freedom. The ticket to knowing your true self beyond the theater of space-time and causality. The ticket to emerging spontaneous realization of the highest values like love, compassion, truth, joy, equanimity, truth, compassion, harmony, beauty, evolution, creativity, insight, intuition, vision, and also the loss of the fear of death. These are the components of waking up universally, everywhere. So let's today examine what is behind this reality. As I said, this is the cover issue of the New Scientist, February 1 through 7th. And here's the title, What is Reality? The more we look at reality, the less real it seems. For the first time here, I'm seeing a cover story in a science magazine questioning naive realism. And tomorrow, by the way, if either tomorrow or the day after, I'm going to discuss this article in great detail. If you want me, I'll discuss this article in great detail, and I will show you how it doesn't go far enough. But let's do that tomorrow. Today, let's talk about waking up to the true self. The true self, which is beyond cause-effect, which is irreducible, which is fundamental, and without which there is no experience either of mind, body, or universe, and without which there is no existence. Because as I've said, existence and awareness of existence are the same thing. If there is existence outside awareness, it is unknowable. And that awareness is not body or mind or perception or the world. Awareness is that in which all this experience is being recycled and is evolving. So how do we wake up? What is the 12-step program? And now that we are up to 1,000, let me start. Remembering that I will discuss this article in greater detail tomorrow, and I will also show you why it doesn't go far enough, okay? So, 12-step. I will also try and put these 12 steps in text after I finish this conversation with you. Okay, step 1. I would say step 1 is awareness of choice and motivation in choices. So to be present in this moment of the choices you make is the step 1, and also the motivation behind those choices. Very simple. Why do I do, or why do I take action? What is the motivation behind that? If I just ask myself, is this choice for ego gratification, or is this choice for joy? Not only for myself, but everyone affected by this choice. Then I have made a choice that will shift me from ego identity into the awareness in which the ego identity is an evolving and changing process. So that's step 1. Awareness of choice and awareness of motivation of choice. That's pretty easy. Is the choice for my ego gratification, or is the choice for joy? Step 1. Okay? To wake up to the true self. Step 2. Step 2, choosing a vocabulary that heals. Once again, choosing words or a vocabulary that heals. Choosing words or a vocabulary that heals. So, words that wound are words of attack. They are words of separation. These words reflect anger, hostility, also resentments, grievances, sometimes guilt, shame, and fear. So words are very important because words reflect thoughts, and thoughts are entangled with everything else that we call experience. The word is the flesh in the sense that the word creates context, meaning, relationship, feelings, emotions, images, etc. Thoughts, emotions, feelings, experiences are all entangled. Even our imagination is entangled with the words we use. So if we choose our words carefully, a vocabulary that reflects emotional intelligence, being in touch with ourselves, being in touch with others, which we call empathy, being in touch with our own impulse for compassion, which means the desire to alleviate suffering, choosing love, all of those in words. So what the Buddha called right speech or evolutionary speech. I would say that's the second step to waking up. Words. Choosing our vocabulary very carefully. I made some notes on this today. So, step 3. Step 3, resisting habitual responses and habitual behaviors, which, as I've said before, is the right use of memory, not being victimized by memory, but using memory. And so, resisting habitual patterns of behavior and even thinking. Resisting habitual patterns to food, resisting habitual patterns to responses in behavior, resisting habitual patterns that reflect addictive tendencies, and resisting by just observing them, not by trying to manipulate, but basically sometimes resisting in a degree of self-denial to habitual patterns of thinking and behavior. I would say step 3. Step 4, interoception, and I would say this is the beginning of a deeper understanding of even your body as a field of awareness. So there are many ways we can improve our experience of our body as a field of awareness. One of them is called pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses, and then focusing inward on sensations as they emerge from the inside out in the body. And learning interoception, which means learning to actually know and experience what's happening inside your body, in the viscera, in the bodily organs. This is a combination of pratyahara, yoga nidra, and focused awareness on the heart or in the lungs or in the bodily organs, the viscera, even the solid organs of the body, combined with dharana, which is focused awareness, dhyan, which is meditation, drishti, looking at the organ with the eye of inner perception, and basically getting to know your body as a field of awareness. The more we practice yoga nidra, the more we practice interoception, the more we practice interoception with deep breathing and drishti with the inner eye. Drishti means vision with the inner eye. The more we will understand that the body is not a physical object or even a field of energy or information. The body is awareness. And that's a huge insight. And the body is an intermittent experience of shifting patterns of awareness. And when we recognize that, then we stop identifying with a physical body. So that would be step 4. Checking my notes to make sure I'm saying everything that I intended to. Step 5. Being immune to criticism. Being immune to criticism but responsive to feedback. Okay. So if your internal identity is your ego personality, then you will be offended for the rest of your life. To be immune to criticism is also to be immune to flattery. And so it is to be independent of the good or bad opinions of others, but still responsive to feedback, because feedback allows us to evolve. Not being personally offended by the arrows and slings and criticisms of my fellow human beings, but going beyond that to being fully aware of every criticism, every condemnation as a sign for expanded awareness and understanding that as we expand our awareness in any case, we become independent of both criticism and flattery and evolve with feedback. Okay? So that would be step number 5. Step number 6. Be an observer, a spectator of your internal dialogue. So what's the internal dialogue? The internal dialogue is a personal story, which is the interpretation of perceptual activity right now. Okay, so perceptual activity is very simple. It is sounds, colors, shapes, forms, tastes, smells, sensations, textures, images, thoughts, etc. They're all captured in the story we are telling ourselves about ourselves, which is basically about our experiences. And this creates the internal dialogue. Then this actually shapes every experience and interpretation of every experience, because I've said thoughts are entangled. And so our internal dialogue, the story, the personal story, which is totally provisional, is shaping our experience of everyday reality. To step back and be a non-judgmental observer, a spectator to your internal dialogue, takes you beyond the conditioned mind into the true self as well. So that would be, I think, step 6. Step 6. Let's go to step 7. Step 7. And this is something that you should practice in front of a mirror, but you can also practice when you're looking at the world. Observe your own eye movements in a mirror. Be aware of the tone of your voice. Understanding that voice tone reflects mood. Angry people shout. Normal people speak in a regular tone. When they fall in love, they whisper, and when they become love, they're totally silent. So, tone of voice, eye movements, facial expressions. Are you smiling? Are you scowling? Are you relaxed? Your gestures, your body language, your breathing, they're all, in essence, your body language is reflecting a deeper self. And what's happening to that deeper self in the conditioned mind. So once in a while, stand in front of a mirror, look at your own eyes, and say to yourself, who am I seeing? What is it that is seeing? What is it that is smiling? What is it that is upset? And try the same when you observe others. Observe their eye movements. Look them in their eyes, their facial expressions. Observe the tone of their voice, their gestures. Are they relaxed? What is their body language? All of that is an expression of what is happening behind the scenes. To quote Rumi again, this, what we're seeing, including this body, and the mind behind it, is not the real reality. The real reality is behind the curtain. In truth, we are not here. This is our shadow. This is actually the meaning of the word veil. You know, in Islamic cultures and in even Jewish cultures, Indian cultures, Hindu cultures, the veil signifies the beauty of the soul that is behind the scenes. What is behind the veil of all appearance? Step 7. See, we're doing a 12-step program for waking up. Step 8, change perspective. So, you know, every time we look at something, we are using a personal perspective to look at it. So, changing perspective, going back to the teachings of the Buddha, he said, correct perspective is either no perspective or all perspectives. In that is freedom. So, anytime you're looking at a situation, ask yourself, how am I perceiving it? Ask the other person, how are you perceiving it? How is the third party perceiving it? Every situation, every relationship, there's interaction. My perspective, your perspective, other people's perspective. When we shift perspective to multiple modes of experience, first person, second person, and third person, we unleash creativity, we unleash insight, we unleash intuition, we unleash a higher vision. So that would be my step 8. Step 9, understand mind-body proclivities or tendencies. So many people have tried to do this over the ages. Okay, so there's classification. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts. There's the so-called Myers-Briggs personality assessment. There is the Gallup Strength Finders, which I use personally. You know, my strengths are futuristic, adaptable, connector, maximizing energy and strategy. But everybody has unique strengths, and you should find out what yours are. And even the sequence of your unique strengths is totally unique. It's like a signature. For me, the most interesting way to understand your mind-body proclivities and tendencies is not the Myers-Briggs or even Strength Finders or even what is called SWOT, S-W-O-T, which is, you know, looking at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. That's what SWOT stands for. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, tendencies. For me, actually, the most interesting mapping of personality strengths and proclivities are the Vata, Pitta, Kapha assessment which looks at 9 different body types. Vata being hypermetabolic tendencies that can lead to risk factors for degenerative disorders, for example. Pitta, which is more inflammatory and transformative personality, but risks people for inflammatory disorders. And then Kapha, which is retentive, risks your tendency for obesity and diabetes and all of that. So understanding mind-body proclivities, tendencies, and for me the Ayurvedic map has become very useful. And I'm going to explore that more in terms of epigenetics and neuroplasticity in future conversations, and also doing our own research on, looking at the genetic activities of different personality types. Okay, so that is a deeper dive into what we call understanding mind-body tendencies, proclivities. In the Ayurvedic system, there are 9 possible subdivisions of the classic Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Okay, that leads us to number 10. Deep inquiry into the nature of existence and the nature of reality through direct inquiry, what some of the non-dualists are calling a direct method. So when you look directly, non-dualists meaning people like Rupert Spira, Greg Good, Francis Lucille, Atman and Krishna Menon, who actually coined this term, Atma Darshan and Atma Vichar, and Ramana Maharishi. But the direct method is looking directly into the nature of experience, and when you do that, you'll see that there is no evidence whatsoever in direct experience for a physical body or a physical world. We never experience a physical body or a physical world or a physical object. We only experience modes of knowing and perception, and a narrow bandwidth of knowing and perception, and a conditioned response that kind of bamboozles us into the naive realism view of the world, that there is a world independent of awareness. As I said, no such world is to be found. No such world is to be discovered. Shweta says it's all energy. No, Shweta, energy is a human construct for an experience. It's all being, it's all existence, it's all awareness. Energy is a modified experience of that. Okay. So direct inquiry of experience shows us that we only experience perceptions and our interpretation of perceptions, which we call objects, words, worlds, everyday reality, physical body, stars, galaxies, universes. None of that is fundamental reality, because those are interpretations of perceptual activity. So we never experience a physical world, a physical body, or a physical object. Only our perceptions and our interpretations. This is called Atma Vichar, self-inquiry. Step 10. Step 11, awareness in deep sleep and dream state. Cultivating awareness in deep sleep and dream state. This is also done through yoga nidra at night and through recapitulation. When you recapitulate everything that happened during the day, just being aware of that experience, then you see it as a dream. And then when you introduce the intention to be aware of dreams, and you experience dreams and even sleep as the witness to those experiences, then you totally wake up, even in the dream sleep state. And waking up in the dream sleep state and waking up in the waking state, because for most people, waking up in the waking state is not even a thought. They think the waking state is the world, but actually the waking state is one mode of awareness in which this body, that painting, you, me, and everything else is an intermittent stream of sensations and perceptions. So waking up in waking and seeing the waking state as a lucid dream in a vivid now, and then making the dream lucid and making even the sleep lucid wakes us up to cosmic consciousness and divine consciousness and unity consciousness. And I've spoken about this before, but I will speak in more detail later. So that would be 11th step to waking up, 11th step. I would say that's waking up in the sleep and dream state as well. And now the 12th and final step, which is transcendence. Transcendence is going totally beyond every experience, every thought, every perception, every feeling, every image. Every image. For this, by the way, mantra meditation, particularly with Bij mantras, is very useful. Because when we meditate with Bij mantras, then there comes a moment during the meditation where there's no mantra, no thought, just pure being. And when we cultivate this pure being, which is the presence in every experience, in every object, in every thought, in every perception, then we realize that being is the presence that imparts reality to all experience, and in fact, to the entire universe. Transcendence. Step 12. So here are the 12 steps, the 12-step program. I'm thinking I should do a 2-day or perhaps a week-long seminar just on waking up to the true self. Using these 12 steps, but going into great detail. And if you like that idea, please let me know, and I will pursue it. And we can actually go through this 12-step program in great detail, so we can together participate in our collective awakening. And if we reach a critical mass with that, we will project a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. So let me know if this is a good idea. The 12-step program for waking up to the true self, achieving liberation, moksha, and total freedom. Freedom from all constructs, including birth and death. Finding the true, immortal, timeless being that makes the experience of the universe, the body, the mind, and everything that we call reality. Because that what you see is not the real reality. Until next time.